narcissist would want you to believe that they are all powerful, they're flawless, they have no weaknesses, but their reality is completely different than what they want you to believe. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and today's episode is going to be all about 5 weaknesses that all narcissists have. Before we get started, please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel by pressing the subscribe button if you're watching this video on YouTube, and press the bell icon to stay updated with everything latest that I post over here. Let's get going. Number 1, failure to self-reflect and look inwards. For a person to grow, they have to consider the faults they have as a person, as a human being. They have to consider the failures. They have to consider the shortcomings that we all have. Because considering all of these faults, all of these shortcomings and failures will help a person to grow eventually. But when it comes to a narcissist, guess what? Everything that is wrong, that is faulty in their life, it is someone else's fault. It is your fault. It's my fault, except theirs. They can never be wrong. And what that does indirectly is it keeps them stagnant. It keeps them stuck in a perpetual cycle of victimhood. They want to be seen as supreme and flawless, but realistically and practically, they are the victims of their own doing. They never grow because they do not learn from their mistakes. Why? Because they do not acknowledge their mistakes at the first place. So growth is missing in their life, and that is why if you leave a narcissist at this place, in this psychological position or in any other way,
so you're saying all
you are going to find them in the same state 10 years from now. I can almost assure you that. Let's get going to number 2. They do not believe in collaboration and only want to compete. A narcissist is extremely self-absorbed. All they focus on is themselves. It is their welfare that matters the most. But in an environment where collaboration is needed for growth, this can prove to be extremely fatal. Because if you are in a situation where you're only focusing on yourself, how would you be growing if you're not taking any form of help in? If it is all about you, it's all about your needs. I can give an example of a co-parenting situation where both parents are supposed to be involved in the proper nurturing of the children. But what the narcissist does is that they want to be liked the most by the children. They want the children to put this narcissist on the pedestal. They want to be the most likable parent among the two. What that does is that destroys the children, because the narcissist doesn't care about the discipline, the impact of lack of boundaries. The narcissist doesn't care about uplifting, overlifting the children and overindulging the children. They don't care about the trauma it causes. Basically, they will do everything and anything to just make sure that they are winning against you and you look like the crazy one. That the children take more of a side of the narcissist and isolate you, just maintain some kind of distance from you, or think that you are a bad parent in comparison to the narcissist. Everything and anything that you do with them is a competition. It can never be collaboration, because for it to be a collaboration, the narcissist has to think beyond themselves. They have to think about you. They have to think about your needs. And that is not possible for them to do. The only needs that matter for them is their own needs, or their own needs. They don't think beyond the bubble of egocentric self. Number 3, they are chronically bored and their interests are very short-lived. You need to understand that a narcissist is completely disconnected from their true self, which means the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of gratitude is extremely difficult for them to feel. Why? Because being satisfied is more of an emotional state than a state of having all of the materialistic and shiny stuff around you to feel satisfied. It has nothing to do with how much you have. Of course, the quality and the quantity of things does contribute to the level of satisfaction, but ultimately your
How to get ripped within 30 days without gym and dieting. This genius US Navy SEALs device to get incredible abs within
ultimately your way of experiencing satisfaction is quite unique to who you are as an individual and what you want to have in your life and how you define it. For a narcissist, nothing is ever enough. That's why their interest keeps moving. Basically, they are not interested in anything. It's like they are trying to fill a bottomless pit and nothing is filling it. They move from one hobby to the other. They have this habit of hoarding cars, moving houses, moving places, doing bizarre things. I mean, one of the things that you know about is just moving from one person to the other. Why are they doing this? Because number one, they do not feel satisfied with what they have, because they do not know what it means to, why they are not connected with themselves. Number two, they have to have this feeling of high, that intense feeling that you get as an addict when you take the dose, when you use the substance and you feel high. That is the kind of feeling they get every single time they purchase that new car, get that new house. They are with this new person and they have to persuade them, they have to woo them, they have to make them fall in love with themselves. All of that is quite crazy and it's quite shallow, and that never lets a narcissist live a peaceful life. Before we get to the number 4, I'm really curious to know what weaknesses did you see in the narcissist that you were with. Drop them in the comments below and help other people to feel validated. Number 4, their fear of being ashamed makes them obsessed about how they are perceived and how they look in front of others. You need to understand that a narcissist, even though it doesn't look like they are ashamed of anything, or even if it doesn't look like they feel any form of shame, they are deeply ashamed of who they are, and this shame is something that they always keep running away from. And
you're talking bollocks. Fucking clown. Take it from a narcissist. I've been called it many a time. Fucking hell, there's no harm in having a bit of drive on a golden life, is there? What more shit can I listen to?
Has inflation